Right now, as you're watching this video, there's a massive shift happening in the AI startup world that most people are completely sleeping on. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the man behind ChatGPT, has quietly been backing a funding ecosystem that's handing aspiring AI entrepreneurs up to $100,000 to turn their ideas into real companies. And the craziest part? You don't need a Stanford degree, a fancy pitch deck, or even a finished product to qualify. In 2025 alone, AI startups pulled in over $200 billion in venture capital funding. That's not a typo. $200 billion. And nearly half of all global venture capital went directly into artificial intelligence companies. We're talking about a gold rush that makes the dot-com boom look like a yard sale. But here's the thing most people miss. The biggest opportunities aren't just for the billion-dollar players. They're for the scrappy founders, the solo builders, the people with a laptop and a vision who are willing to move fast. Let me break down exactly what's happening, how this funding works, and how you can position yourself to grab a piece of this pie. Because if you're watching this channel, you already know the AI wave isn't coming. It's here. And the window to ride it is narrower than you think. So here's the backstory. OpenAI launched something called the OpenAI Startup Fund back in 2021. This fund was initially set up with around $175 million, specifically to invest in early-stage AI companies that could have a profound positive impact on the world. Sam Altman himself described it as backing a small number of big bets on ambitious founders working in areas like healthcare, education, climate change, and productivity tools. The fund has since grown its portfolio to over 40 companies, including names like Harvey in legal AI, Figure AI in robotics, and Ambiance Healthcare. Microsoft was among the initial investors, and the fund is now managed by a dedicated team with deep expertise in machine learning, investing, and engineering. But it didn't stop there. In 2022, they introduced the Converge program, a 5-week accelerator designed for exceptional engineers, designers, researchers, and product builders who are using AI to reimagine entire industries. Each founding team accepted into Converge receives a $1 million equity investment, early access to OpenAI's newest models, workshops with the OpenAI team, and a direct pipeline into one of the most powerful AI networks on the planet. The first cohort consisted of roughly 10 founding teams, and they've already run a second cohort with even more applicants. What makes Converge different from a typical accelerator is the depth of access. You're not just getting money. You're getting a glimpse into the future of powerful AI before the rest of the world sees it. Now, I know what you're thinking. $1 million sounds incredible, but what about founders who aren't quite at that stage yet? That's where the broader ecosystem comes in. Through partnerships with venture firms like X-Fund, Sam Altman has personally participated in pitch competitions where startups compete for a minimum $100,000 investment. In one notable event hosted at Harvard, 270 submissions poured in from aspiring AI founders across generative AI. 6 finalists got to pitch directly to Altman himself, covering fields from research tools to software development to military applications. One team walked away with funding that changed everything. This is the kind of access that simply didn't exist 5 years ago. And just recently, OpenAI launched the Grove program, which is aimed at people even earlier in their journey. We're talking pre-idea, pre-deck, pre-everything. The Grove provides $50,000 in API credits, early access to AI tools, mentorship from OpenAI's technical leadership, and 5 weeks of hands-on programming at OpenAI's San Francisco headquarters. The second cohort accepted roughly 15 participants from all backgrounds, disciplines, and experience levels. This isn't some generic accelerator. This is being embedded directly inside the company that's building the future of AI. You're co-building alongside OpenAI researchers and getting direct feedback from the people creating the models you'll use to build your company. Now let's zoom out and look at why this matters for you specifically. The AI funding landscape right now is unlike anything we've seen in technology history. According to Crunchbase data, AI captured close to 50% of all global startup funding in 2025. The San Francisco Bay Area alone pulled in over $120 billion in AI investment. 55 US-based AI startups raised rounds of $100 million or more in a single year, and the trend is accelerating, not slowing down. In fact, AI funding spiked 75% year-over-year in 2025. The top 4 deals alone accounted for more than 30% of total deal value globally. But here's the insight that separates successful AI founders from everyone else. You don't need to build the next ChatGPT. The companies getting funded right now are solving specific vertical problems using AI as the engine. Harvey is automating legal research and just raised $300 million at a $3 billion valuation. Hippocratic AI is building language models specifically for healthcare and crossed a $1 billion valuation. Elise AI is automating housing management and raised $250 million. Sierra is building customer service AI agents and hit a $10 billion valuation. Adaptive Security is fighting AI-powered social engineering attacks and got backing directly from the OpenAI startup fund. These aren't generic AI plays. They're founders who said, "I'm going to take AI and solve this one specific problem better than anyone else," and that's your opening. The OpenAI Startup Fund, the Converge program, the Grove Initiative, and the broader Sam Altman investment ecosystem are all looking for the same thing. They want founders who can identify a real problem in a real industry and apply AI to solve it in a way that creates massive value. You don't need a PhD. You don't need to understand transformer architecture at a mathematical level. You need to understand a problem deeply and have the drive to build a solution. Sam Altman is known for making investment decisions in minutes based on founder quality, not polished presentations. So let me give you the practical playbook. Step 1. Pick your vertical. Don't try to boil the ocean. Choose one industry you understand or are passionate about. Legal tech, healthcare, education, real estate, customer service, sales automation, content creation, financial services, cybersecurity, human resources. The key is specificity. The data shows that enterprise and vertical AI platforms now dominate over 40% of all AI funding. Investors want focused solutions, not another general chatbot. Step 2. Build a prototype using no-code or low-code AI tools. You can use OpenAI's API, build with platforms like Bubble, Flowise, or Make, and have a working demo in days, not months. The Converge program explicitly says they accept teams at all phases of the seed stage, including pre-idea solo founders. They want to see potential, not perfection. The Grove program goes even further, welcoming people who are deeply curious about building an AI but haven't even formed a concrete idea yet. Step 3. Validate with real users. Even 5 paying customers or 50 free users giving you feedback puts you miles ahead of 99% of applicants. Show traction. Show that real people care about what you're building. The most funded AI startups right now all share one trait. They demonstrated product-market fit early, even if the product was rough around the edges. Step 4. Apply to everything. The OpenAI Startup Fund, the Grove program, Y Combinator, which is also heavily focused on AI now, and any relevant pitch competitions. Cast a wide net. The more shots you take, the better your odds. And don't overlook the smaller programs. Many VC firms now run their own AI-specific accelerators and grant programs specifically to find the next wave of founders. Step 5. Leverage the API credit programs. Even outside of formal accelerators, OpenAI offers startup credits through its partner VC network. Firms like Thrive Capital, Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz, Kleiner Perkins, and Conviction Partners are all part of OpenAI's partner network, and their portfolio companies get access to free API credits, rate limit upgrades, and direct time with OpenAI's solutions engineering team. If your VC isn't in the network, you can still apply directly through OpenAI's startup page for credits and support. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: competition. Yes, AI funding is massive. Yes, everyone and their grandmother is building an AI startup. But here's the reality check. Early-stage rounds from pre-seed through Series A dominate the AI startup landscape right now, with roughly 140 companies at that stage. That means the ecosystem is still in its early innings. The companies that will define the next decade of AI are being founded right now. Today, not next year, not when it's convenient, now. And the numbers back this up. AI startups receive valuations roughly 42% higher than non-AI startups at the seed stage. Investors are literally paying a premium for AI founders because they believe the upside is that massive. Enterprise AI revenue hit $37 billion in 2025, tripling year over year. Big tech companies are projected to invest over $500 billion in AI infrastructure in 2026 alone. The demand for AI solutions is growing exponentially, and the supply of competent founders building real products simply can't keep up. That gap between demand and supply? That's your opportunity. That's the $100,000 grant sitting on the table. That's Sam Altman and the OpenAI ecosystem essentially saying, if you have the courage to build, we'll give you the resources to make it real. OpenAI is now valued at $500 billion. They raised $40 billion in a single round in 2025. ChatGPT has over 800 million weekly users. The infrastructure